Hey there, this is Katherine. This video is going to be all about my favorite adhesives that I use for card making and crafting. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about each one and why I enjoy the ones that I'm using. So this is, I'll begin with the Bearly Art Precision Craft Glue. This is a liquid glue. It's pretty much the only liquid glue I use anymore. It's got a fine tip. It has this little pokey thing that goes in the center to keep it from clogging up. I also have a large refill that I bought originally. I've got a couple of bottles. I've got a smaller one. And I just use that to refill. And I think I've refilled a couple of times at least. So I feel like that's going to last a really long time. I like the way that it dries and it doesn't wrinkle my paper. So I've really enjoyed that product in my craft room. This dry adhesive is by Tombow. This is called Extreme. This is what I use when I am laying down some dry adhesive on a card. It has a good stick, and I find that it holds up well for me. I always have glue dots around somewhere. There's always an application for them. I love to use them to stick little things down. I have some smaller ones somewhere as well, but these craft ones are a little bit larger. Those are some square ones. And a lot of times I'll just pull the tape runner up and pull off one little dot that I need to add a bow or something that's just not sticking. They're just great, and they have a great adhesion. I used to use these a lot for my kids for things that we would do with crafts, so they are absolutely one of my favorite products that I use. These are some rolls of, I'm going to call them red line tape. I don't know if that's their formal name. I've just always heard it referred to as red line. It's a pretty sticky, thick tape that I use a lot of times to put boxes or heavier items that need a lot more adhesion. I'm using my scissors that are coated with a non-stick material. These are Scotch. I picked those up at my local craft store, or even like a big box store. I love those because a lot of things don't stick to it, and I use a lot of tape and things like this, so it just helps. Those are my favorite scissors, so I'll just throw that in as well. So I'm just laying this tape down, and like I say, I love to use it in certain applications, but it is also great to add a little foil element to your cards. I have done this before to create a background. Just lay some strips down and run some of my deco foil over it, and it couldn't be easier. And it's so beautiful, and there's no mess. It's super easy, it's super quick, and it never fails for me. So I've got a little bit of scrap of paper, of foil from Maker Forte that was lying on my table. So I decided to just pull this out and show you how quick and easy it is. It just peels right off. And I just rub that down with my finger, and I have great adhesion every time. So I'm going to finish this strip, and then I'll apply it to another. But again, it's just a great way if you've got some little scrap foil. You can also use it with glitter, things like that. It will work well too because of the adhesion. If you're using glitter, you're going to want to use a bone folder or something like that, flip it over and kind of burnish it down to make sure that you get good adhesion on that. But isn't that pretty? It's so easy. Just a quick way to add a little bit of a beautiful foil element. So I enjoy it for that. This is Elizabeth Craft adhesive as well. This is a thinner one that I have. Then this one tears, so it's not quite as thick as the red line, but I have found that the Elizabeth Craft has really good adhesion. At one point I had a larger roll that I used as well, but I finished that up. But I like to have these different widths of it, I should say, because it allows me to use them in different situations. I picked up this large roll from scrapbook.com. This is the foam adhesive. It's a 1-inch roll. They have a couple of different sizes. So I can trim this down to whatever size I want it to. It's not super thick, which actually makes me very happy. Sometimes the foam adhesives are thicker than I want them to be, but I really like the height that I get. You get a little bit of dimension, but it's not so much that it kind of overwhelms your project. The next one that I love as well is the Sizzix double-sided adhesive sheets. These are 6x6, and you can pick these up online. Sometimes they're in the local craft stores as well, but sometimes they can be a little bit hard to find. But I'm going to peel off a strip here. What I like to use this for is if I'm cutting a bunch of sentiments or some alphabets, or even things especially that are intricate dies. I have a couple of really intricate background dies that even with a fine tip glue would be pretty hard and take a lot of time to get the glue on there and not have it kind of go everywhere. So these are great for those kind of applications. When I have a die that is pretty intricate, it will allow you to apply the adhesive all over the whole thing without having to worry about a liquid glue or a glue that's fine enough. So I'm going to pull out a little die that I just had on my table that says note, and I'll just show you how quick and easy it is. And so it makes it into a sticker basically. You could put adhesive on both sides if you wanted to and make kind of like a sticker. If you wanted to turn that note into something decorative, you could add some foil on that or glitter as well. So there's some flexibility with this product too. So I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. This is from Diamond Press, and you will see it comes out beautifully. No problems cutting with that extra adhesive on the back. It ran right through. And then I'm just going to add this to a piece of cardstock. And when I use things like this, I like to use a little bone folder and just make sure I get a good adhesion. Because sometimes, I don't know about the Sizzix specifically, but sometimes they give you kind of a second to set up the adhesive before it really becomes permanent. But this one is permanent, and it sets up really well. I have always enjoyed working with this specific adhesive. So let me peel this off. I'm going to pop out that little piece in the note, and I will lay that down. And then I'm going to flip it over and burnish it with my bone folder, making sure I get a good adhesion. And that's just another great product that I like to have on hand for my adhesive collection. I do love my adhesives, but I want to hear from you. I have the ones that I enjoy, that I have loved over the years. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you have in your craft stash that you really enjoy, because I love to discover new products, or maybe you like some of the same. Thanks so much for sharing, and have a great day.